Hey guys, Bart from TST Industries here. In this video, we're going to show you the installation of our Elite-1 Fender Eliminator on 2013 and up Kawasaki ZX6R ZX6R. Now, this kit enables you to ditch this big component and replace it with our nice license plate bracket and a closeout base. Our closeout base blocks off all the holes left behind by the fender and makes the undertail look cosmetically nice. So, this is a fairly simple installation. Let's begin. All right, so the first step, as always, is to remove your license plate off the bike. And you will have to retain your OEM license plate hardware that will be reused on the TST Industries system. Next, we will remove the passenger seat and put that to the side. Now I'll be removing these four fasteners from the tail area. The first tool will give us access to remove this panel, and the combination of these three will loosen the left side tail panel so that we can get access to the wiring here. At this point, it's necessary to take this panel out. Now, this panel has four slide fasteners in these locations, so we need to pull out in this direction. Now, the seat puts pressure on it here, so we just need to be careful about how we flex all that so it disengages. Do that on both sides. And now this comes out. All right, so now that we have all this loose and ready to go, we'll need to identify this routing clip here. This can be flexed open. It just bends open like that. And there are three harnesses. One for each side signal and one for the license plate light. Now that these wires are loose, we can take this boot that houses some of these wires and bring it out to here. Be careful, you don't want to strain the wires on the bottom. What I'm going to do here is pull up on these plugs a little bit to the end of their wire, but not beyond that. And each one of these plugs in here, I'll try to show you guys as best as I can. Underneath here, if you shove in a screwdriver, you can pry up on the release tab. And these are designed to be pressed from underneath, but I find it easier to pry up and then withdraw the plug. So that's one signal. Now we're going to find, that was the black one. Now we're going to find the gray one in there. And carefully bring it to the surface. I'm going to release the tab again on the gray plug. The plug comes out. So now we have our signals disconnected and they are routed to the trunk compartment. The last harness here is, this is the license plate light, and this is a Sumitomo plug. You just press down on the locking tab and withdraw it. It's very simple. Now, I've seen this plug on some of these bikes. I've seen it on the outside of the boot, and on some of them I've seen it on the inside. So if you don't see it outside, look for it inside the protective boot. Okay, so now we have all these wires pretty much ready to come out once these four fasteners that attach the fender to the underside are loosened, and that will be done in the next step. Once I get to the last fastener here, I'm going to start undoing it, and at the same time supporting the fender assembly from the bottom so it doesn't just drop and also doesn't put strain on the threads of this last fastener. All right, now my fender is free. I'll just need to make sure to guide the wires All right, so the license plate light plug is the largest, so I'm gonna remove that one the last. All right, now this guy is off. We can just throw it away. So the TST Industries Fender Eliminator kit here fits under the tail like this. As you can see, it removes all the signaling equipment that your OEM Fender had. Now on our website, you will be able to get either pod signals that attach to this setup and are plug and play, or you can go with an integrated tail light like we have on this bike. Choice will be yours, but just wanted to let you guys know so you're aware about what this kit comes with. So now we will proceed to installing the base and the license plate bracket on the bike, and we'll move on from there. Here we have the components that come with the Elite-1 kit. We have the undertail closeout base, license plate bracket, and this hardware. So first, I will arrange my hardware in the proper orientation and configuration with the washers like this. Now I will insert these two sets into the rearmost holes left behind by the fender. Now those are located here. Now that these are ready, you can move on to configure the license plate bracket in the base properly. So this is the external face with our logo on it. Flip it over, and the pockets here accept our license plate bracket. Now we will move this into position with the fasteners that are protruding from the bottom that we set ourselves up with, and line them up so we can engage the threads. Now, if you want an extra peace of mind, you can use a little bit of thread lock on these bolted connections. I typically just tighten them enough so that the steel threads of the screws are engaged into the aluminum threads of the base, and that creates enough friction so that the vibration during riding does not remove these screws and you don't lose any components. But if you're the type of person that likes thread lock, you can go ahead and use it. At this point, I would like to draw your attention to a license plate light. In this video, we're not going to show you the install of the license plate light because we have a separate video showing the steps necessary for such an installation. However, I do want to show you how to configure the wiring on this particular setup because that is unique to this setup. So our Stealth license plate light here would have its wire run through the slot of this license plate bracket, and then that would sit on the undertail closeout base, and there's a channel there to run this into the trunk compartment. All right, so here again. And it ends up being like this with your license plate here. All right, so let's continue on. I will now install my license plate onto this setup. I will get it snugged up here, bottomed out, finger tight, and then I will center it. And that looks good to me right there. All right, and let's jump up top here and finalize things here, and we'll be ready to go. All right, so at this point, whatever wiring you've run into your trunk, along with the taillight wiring, needs to be clamped back down in this routing guide. Since we only have an integrated taillight installed in this particular bike, the only wire that's going to get clamped down is that one. For your particular purpose, you might have signaling wires, you might have a license plate light wire. Just consider that, make sure it goes through here and stays clear of the trunk compartment. At this point, I will replace the center tail panel here by engaging the lower sliding locks first. And then the upper ones, and once you have alignment of the holes for the fasteners, you can replace those. Now these fasteners, they screw into rubber well nuts, so make sure you consider that while you're reassembling this. You will not feel a hard stop at the bottom of this screwed connection. If you continue to turn past where the well nut mushrooms, you will damage your well nuts and you will need to replace them. And once we replace the passenger seat, this installation is complete. Bike's ready to go. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.